Hey, Gopher fans, welcome back. It's another virtual state fair meeting. We're glad to be with you, and we're talking wrestling now this time around. And as always, we'd much rather be outside that U of M building on that stage, talking to fans in person, handing out the posters, going around and eating the food. But instead of that, we want to give everyone a chance to update what's going on, and certainly wrestling falls into that category. So we're glad to have him here. Brandon Eggum is the head coach of the Gopher Wrestling team, a former Gopher himself. He looks very comfy someplace. Is that your backyard, Coach?
Yeah, we're in my backyard, just kind of chilling. Yep.
Nice. I'm just waiting for someone to cue a deer to run across the back there and, just make it a nice nature scene.
We got a couple of apple trees, so they're jumping the fence all the time out here. There's a little preserve behind us, so we get pretty lucky. We see some deer in the yard every now and then.
Nice. Very well. Well, it's good to see you, first of all. Secondly, certainly we'd prefer to either be on campus or, in the case of this particular instance, we'd rather be on the stage having some fun on the fairgrounds. So let me ask you real quickly, are you one of those guys that loves the fair and wants to get out there, can't wait to go buy some food, see some animals, or are you one of those guys who you'd stay away if you could?
No, I love the state fair here. It's awesome. I remember first time I went when I came from Montana to wrestle at the University of Minnesota, and the guys took me to the state fair. It was amazing. It's an awesome state fair. I love people watching and just going around and seeing all the different things that they have for sale and trying different foods and stuff. It's a cool experience. I love it.
Well, let's introduce the two wrestlers we have with us here on our virtual stage. We have Gable Stephanson, who is from Apple Valley. Gable, good to see you.
You too. Thank you.
And I would assume, being an Apple Valley and a Minnesota guy, you've been to the state fair before. You were a Gopher wrestler. Are you also one that likes the state fair, or do you prefer to stay away?
I like the state fair a lot, but my thing is I don't like being in places for a long time. So once it hits a deadline of like 2 to 3 hours, I think it's my time to go. I kind of get sick of a lot of things, but other than that, state fair is the place to be. Yeah. Always.
Get in and get out, grab your food, get on the stage, and move along. And Brayton Lee is with us as well. Brayton, are you in the Twin Cities, or are you back home in Indiana?
You're muted.
Oh, Brayton, you're muted. You need to unmute. After all these Zooms, we still have there you go. Brayton, where are you?
I'm back home in Indiana right now, actually.
Gotcha. So you'd be missing the street fair either way, whether it was on or off. Although if we were on with the fair, we'd probably be on with everything else. But you have been to the fair before in your previous time here on the campus?
Yeah, my freshman summer, I went for the first time when we got moved into the dorms and everything. I actually went with Gable and a few other guys. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, when they said you were going to the state fair, is that what you had in mind when you showed up and saw what was unfolding?
I mean, I figured it would be similar to Indiana's, and I mean, I thought ours was pretty big, but it wasn't close. It was just so many people, so many.
Well, Coach Eggum, what is your favorite? And when you come out with either the team or your family or what have you, do you have a couple of stops that you want to make, whether it's food or whether it's to see animals or ride the rides or go to the carnival or what have you?
Yeah, I'd say probably our favorite stop is, obviously I was talking about trying the different foods. I love the hot dish on a stick. I thought that's pretty unique and always been a fan of hot dish, but that guy does it right. So that's probably my favorite pick overall.
I've never had that. How is that? Do they just take the hot dish and put it around a batter and drop it in grease?
Yep, exactly. And it's it's amazing. You got to try it.
I'm going to. Next year, I'm going to put that on the list. There's so many good things. My list is getting longer every year, by the way. I love the fair myself, so we definitely will try hot dish on a stick. Gable, how about you? Do you have a favorite stop or two that you like?
Probably every year by the corner where the concerts happen, there's like this little steak sandwich place. That's probably my favorite. I mean, I'm obsessed with steak and I like all the, so that's my best spot.
Yeah, meat eater. No problem there. Brayton, how about you? The time you were out, did anything surprise you? Did you have a particular food that you enjoyed the most?
I mean, I remember the Sweet Martha's cookies. I thought that was pretty funny. How they just throw all the cookies in the world in those little buckets, and here you go. And that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
go ahead. Sorry.
I do remember I ate with Gable at that place. I think he was like, we got to eat here. So I remember eating good.
Gotcha. Very good. Yeah.
That's spot to be.
Yeah, when you are buying cookies by the bucketful, you know they must be fairly tasty right out of the oven. That's for sure. Speaking of a meat eater, Gable, is that a fire pit you have going, or do you have a grill started behind you?
Nah, I mean, I wish there was a grill with some morning steak and eggs, but it's a fireplace. I think my mom and dad sits out here, and they was chilling for a little bit. So
It looks very comfy, so I had to ask. I was just curious. I thought if you had some morning grilling going on, I might swing by. You know,
I wish I would have invited you.
Oh, very good. Well, let's talk about some wrestling here, and obviously, if we take it all the way back, Gable, you and I were on that Gopher talk, I guess a month or two ago, talking about that bitter disappointment of the build-up to U.S. Bank Stadium, having the opportunity to wrestle in your home city and wrestle in just a few miles from campus and all of those things, and I guess I'll ask you, Gable, first. Obviously, it's you almost have to cope with it, right? How have you gotten over the fact that you and the team were kind of robbed of that opportunity, that golden opportunity to be in front of 50,000 people right down the street from where you live?
I mean, I think I gotten over the fact, like, right when NCAA canceled it. I think I kind of just let it go. I mean, if it was gonna happen, I mean, as a Big Ten, as we're at Big Tens, me and Brayton, I figured we all knew that something was gonna arise when the COVID talk started getting more. And I think as this time went and we took the tour, I mean, we were all hurt, but we just gotta look forward to next year, and hopefully we do have it next year, and just look forward to the better days ahead besides all the COVID and everything else going on.
And Brayton, what was your thought? Obviously, you had a successful year, 25-6 as a redshirt freshman. Just to see the thing kind of slip away, for the team there.
Yeah, I was pretty bummed out. I put a lot into the sport, and I felt like I had given it my all year, and I was ready to go. And I felt like, I mean, even though not being from Minnesota, I still felt like I had a little extra firepower behind me, probably going in there. So I was ready to go. So I was felt pretty bummed out for a while.
Yeah, and I was looking forward just to seeing the layout as a fan, just to get in there and see if there's 35, 40, 50,000 fans. And I know they were going to have you guys with extra space on one side of the field and multiple mats, obviously, in the early days of the tournament. Coach, we've lost your video. Are you still with us, at least on an audio part of it? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. I can hear you guys well, so
Okay.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there.
All right. Well, I'll ask you kind of how have you been able to help the team, get through that part of it? I know it's been a crazy time, all summer long, not being able to, for some of that time, see your wrestlers. And I suppose the only time is on FaceTime or Zoom or text or phone calls. What's it been like as a head coach overseeing young men to go through this 5-month stretch?
Yeah, obviously it was tough. I mean, those guys talked about it. Both those, Brayton and Gable, they just had amazing seasons. And, I know they were disappointed there. So Gable comes off of winning a Big Ten title and going in, trying to win an NCAA title. Same with Brayton, and looking at becoming not only a national champ, but a 4-time All-American. So in front of the home state would have been awesome. But everything dropped off pretty quick. We've been fortunate. Initially we had a small break, but wrestling's unique, and they got a very well established what they call RTC, regional training centers, which has allowed us to have some time with our guys. We're one of the fortunate programs that has been able to do some stuff and see our guys and have a little bit of training. So that's been good. So we've seen the guys some in small groups and stuff this summer and had some time with them. So, but it's still different. The training's not the same. We're trying to figure out what's the best plans for some of these guys moving forward. And with this being an Olympic year and maybe the chance and hopes of making an Olympic team, both these athletes on the Zoom with us right now are talking about that and looking forward to those opportunities coming up. But the biggest thing is like Gable said, is, you try to look forward as quickly as you can at what's ahead of you, and you can't change the past. And that's the biggest thing that we remind these guys, that we don't have control of the future, but we control our effort and our outlook and some of those things. And these guys have done a really good job. So we've got a lot of Zoom calls, with the team, because we got guys that are not local and around here. But the biggest thing is that they just continue to build their friendship and support each other during these tough times. And I think our team is doing exceptionally well at this point.
Yeah, wrestling's a unique sport too, in that it's an individual sport. It's based solely on what you do, on the mat. Yet there's a team aspect to it. You keep a dual score. You win, championships as a team. So that combination, how important is it, even during these times, to try to build that chemistry? To know that yes, individually you want to do the best you can as a wrestler, coach, but then you also want to instill that you're doing in practice or in the weight room or training what you can do to not only make you better, but to push your fellow wrestlers as well in the maroon and gold.
Yeah, we've always talked about our most successful years through past and present are all done when we have very, very close teams. They're looking at team first, not individual. And those are the types of kids that we recruit and that we go after. And the stronger the bond they have wrestling's a very physical, tough sport. And you see these guys can lose, 7 to 10 pounds in a single practice in an hour. So it's pretty amazing what their bodies are going through and the effort that they're putting out during that time frame. But when they look over at the sidelines and they see, their brothers, they call them their brothers, that I think sometimes when things are tough, sometimes when you're trying to win and continue to fight for somebody more than yourself, it helps you push through some very tough times. And that's kind of the team motto we have, is team first.
Gable, obviously you have high hopes. Let's, for the sake of our discussion, hope that, the season gets underway at some point. How good, what is your goal personally? And two, how good can this Gopher team be? I know that there's some new pieces being added. There's a lot of great wrestlers coming back. What's your thought on that?
We got a lot of great recruits coming in, and I think that's always what starts the team process for every team. But at the end of the day, my goal is to be the best I can, and while being coached by Brandon and having teammates like Brayton on my team pushing us every day. I think that's two great aspects to every team, to have a great core to become better. But specifically me, my goal is just to go out there and go undefeated like last year and claim my Big Ten title. But this year I need an NCAA championship, and that's what we all know, and it's gonna happen, and I'll do whatever it takes to get my last two.
Brayton, how was your summer? I know most of it was spent in your home state. Were you able to work out enough and feel like you improved the pieces of your game, so to speak, that you want to heading into what will be this upcoming year?
Yeah, I felt like I was able to manage and become more creative with my training. But I have a great club back home here, and I was able during most of the quarantine to watch a lot of film, kind of pick apart some areas of my game that needs improvement, and just stay in good shape, and just kind of, I think it's a great opportunity to stay one step ahead of the competition. It's just that, there's a lot of some people are either really getting after it or not. So there's things I can do every day, and I know I can push myself every day in different areas, either watching film, wrestling, or my diet.
Coach, how comfortable or how confident are you that there will be a season of some sort, whether it's truncated, whether it's delayed, what have you? And talking to the other coaches, they seem fairly certain, I would say, or confident that at some point these seasons are going to get off the ground. What's your feeling on that?
Yeah, I guess it's hard to know, to be certain about anything. It seems like today things are always changing and stuff, and that's one of the things I'm really proud of our guys. They've been handled the changes very well, but I guess looking forward to the season, we're excited. I think there's a lot of reasons why we will have a season, and we hopefully continue to see things move in a really positive way here over the next few months. But there's talk in wrestling about the season being shortened a little bit, moving to maybe January and some of those things, and probably like a early January start, January through March. So our season would move from 5 months to 3 months, and maybe some talk of a Big Ten conference, but a lot of those things haven't been decided. So those are just, speculation on our coaches' parts, and some of the things that we think could maybe allow us to have a season and allow it to be go through without any hiccups. I guess the biggest thing is probably thinking about a January start now that the fall sports have been pushed back through December 31st. I don't know if they would allow wrestling to start its typical season, which is early November. So we're looking at January through March potentially being the goal, and still having a national tournament these two guys winning their national titles and our team bringing home some hardware. And that's what we're excited about right now. And the guys are doing a good job of continuing to get better every day, regardless of what their training situation is.
Coach, I got to ask you too. Your star wrestler Gable earlier in the spring posted on his social media account him getting in a football stance and tweeting that at the head football coach on campus, PJ Fleck. And you know how good of a recruiter PJ is. Or were you at all concerned at some point that PJ might steal your star wrestler and make him a defensive end or something for the football team across campus?
Yeah, I was nervous. I gave him a call and told him we needed Gable here, so he had to make sure that we could share him if nothing else. But no, yeah, it's pretty. I mean, Gable does a great job of creating that hype and having fun with his social media. And I've joked around with people before. I'm surprised Gable didn't play football in high school. I mean, he is a monster, and he's a big dude, very quick. You see it, on the mat, the way that he can wrestle and stuff. So I'm sure football coaches back in high school, they had to have been pulling their hair out that they couldn't get this guy on the field with them. But one thing at a time. So we'll see. Big things for Gable, no doubt about it.
Brayton, how good do you think Gable Stephanson would be on a football field?
I think he would wrap up a lot of guys for sure.
He'd have some tackles and takedowns, that's for sure. Especially if you said you got 2 points for every tackle. I suppose you'd be doing a lot of double legs if you could do that. That's for sure. Gable, I do want to also ask you, when we had the Gopher talk. First of all, it looks like we have a little intruder there on our Zoom. Is that your family pet?
It's my German Shepherd Dex.
Now let's see if you come over and say hi to us. Can you
Come
over and there he is. That's pretty cool. We've had a couple of these Zooms now where athletes have had their animals come in volleyball, and there he is. Oh, what a beauty! What a beauty! That's great. That's great. I'll just keep you company there while you're talking. But when we talked on the Gophers talk on the Zoom a while ago in the spring, it was just after the George Floyd situation, and as we talk now this time, it's right after a wave of unrest again in our city in Minneapolis after some stuff again happened. You have used your voice to help continue to try to get attention to the social injustice going on. I mean, what kind of progress do you think we're making, and how strong does your voice need to be to continue to push here?
I think in some spots we make progress, but I mean, just like yesterday, I came home probably like at 11 and I got an Amber Alert saying you got a curfews right now till 6 a.m. And it's just crazy that, I mean, the world we live in is just getting crazier by the day. And I wish peace by everyone on both sides, black and white. But it's just, the world is just odd right now in all aspects. It's just too hard to explain. And I think with the police things that are going on and just the way life is right now, it's just, Twitter makes things a bigger deal. The media can twist things into the opposite direction. And I think just like we talked about, just stay true to, like Eggum talked about, stay true to ourselves and make sure we got our core that we can rely on in times like this. And I think everyone needs them certain people that you can talk to, especially right now with a lot of the nonsense going on. But I hope everyone just has peace in their mind with everyone and just doesn't think about the wrong things at the wrong time. So that's all I have to say on this. It's a lot, but that's all I got to say on it.
Yeah, it is a lot, and especially for young people going through a lot. Coach, in terms of, you mentioned that Gable does a good job on his social media to hype, but he's also used it as a platform to try to change. How proud are you of him and the rest of your wrestlers? And as a coach, how do you try to help guide these young men through times like this, which between pandemic, between social unrest, and just general things that college-age kids go through, try to help navigate them through this period of their life?
Well, that's a big part of our job, no doubt, is being a mentor to these guys and help them through it. And that's probably the best part of athletics. Like, these guys look at each other and, color, none of those things matter. These guys are a team. They call each other brothers. And it's one of the best aspects of being in athletics and sports is I don't see that with our guys in this team. They're very, very close and it's amazing. And that's, I guess, as a coach, that's our job. We continue to try to help these guys through difficult times in their lives and help them continue to grow, not just as wrestlers, but to become the best people they can be. And that's one of the things that we really pride ourselves on here. And we're proud of our athletes and how they manage and handle themselves.
Well, very good. Hey, guys, we appreciate the time. Hopefully, at some point, we can all reconvene on campus and see each other. And maybe a year from now, we'll be on the real stage at the real fair and eating real food and getting that hot dish on a stick and all of those things. And let's hope that whether it's January, whether it's November or what have you, that there's a season. You guys can all, as Coach said, win the hardware and compete. Which is certainly what you guys love to do. It's great to see you. Gable and Brayton and Coach, thanks so much.
Yeah, appreciate the time. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
We'll see you.
You got it. Sounds good. That's our virtual state fair, and it's wrestling.